Hi everybody. Today my project is canning butter. Yes, you can can butter and keep it on the shelf. Be good for 3 to 5 years. So let me just show you what I have decided I'm going to do 12 pounds of butter. Each 4 sticks equals 1 pound. So I have 8 packages in. I need to fit 4 more in here. And we're just gonna put it on the stove and melt it down. In the meantime, over in your oven, you wanna put jars and lids in there. Yes, my ovens are cocky on the bottom. Warm up your jars and your lids in a 225 degree oven. And then we're just gonna start melting this butter down. So this is pretty easy to do. I don't know about you guys and your families, but we use a lot of butter. I cook, I bake. I do not even buy margarine for this house because it's horrible for your health. It's 1 molecule away from plastic is what everybody says, and I believe it. So I'm just gonna finish opening all of my butter to get the total of 12 pounds in there. I put wide mouth pint jars in my oven. I did 12, 13, 14, 15 pints. So we're gonna see how much 12 pounds of butter is gonna make for our family. Okay, just keep on adding your butter when you have some room. Like I said, you have your dry pint jars in the oven at 225. You want to warm those up along with your lids for at least 20 minutes while this butter is starting to melt down. After this, I know there's some people that don't pressure can it, but I'm going to show you how I do it. It's just an extra way that I make sure that it's going to be shelf stable for us. Yes, this is not recommended by the Food Administration, but people have been canning butter for a long time. You can take off the creamy particles on the top and make ghee. That's really great for lactose intolerant people. Oven's up to 10. But I'm gonna leave it all in because none of us are lactose intolerant in this house, so it's going to be delicious. I did some last week and it worked out so well, I decided I'm just gonna do some more. I'll be back. Alright, so all 12 pounds of butter are in my pot now. We're just gonna let this totally melt down. I'm going to can it up, pressure cook it, sit there and shake it so it solidifies, and be done. You can use salted or unsalted. I decided to use salted butter. I rarely buy unsalted butter here. So just keep stirring, make sure it's all melted, and then we'll go to the next step. Alright, here we go. Butter's all melted. So in my pressure canner, I put enough water in for my level in my pressure canner. I actually am just whisking it together. Next, we're grabbing one at a time. 1 jar and 1 lid out of our warm oven. So, sorry if you can't see this. So I want everything mixed together. I know the first part's gonna be kind of foamy. I'm keeping that in there. I'm not wasting anything. I'm just filling up our jars. One at a time, just so that you can put it into the canner so it stays warm. I'm actually turning my butter down really low so it just stays warm. I want to leave about 1 inch of head space in this jar so that when we're mixing it up later, there's room to shake. So now I'm just gonna wipe my rim with some vinegar just so I can get any kind of particle that might be on there from the butter. Put my lid on, it's gonna be warm. Finger tight, there you go, in the canner. Make sure, on that note, that when you take your jars out, that they're warm. Obviously, warm them up at least for 20 minutes. In my canner, I do have warm water. When you have warm product, you want to put it into warm water. So we'll just keep on repeating this. We'll see how many pints this is going to do total. Alrighty, all my jars are done. I filled 15 wide mouth pints. This is what it's going to look like when you put them in. So now I'm going to put my lid on, bring my pressure canner up to temp, let it vent for 10 minutes, and then I'll put my weight on it. Sorry, it's hard to do one-handed. So, hold on. Okay, this is what you do. Put your lid on, you have your heat on. Oh, I still can't do it one-handed. How do people do this? I guess they're not filming themselves when they do it. Yes, forgive my hard water stains. So, make sure your lid is locked. You turn your heat on. It'll start to have steam come out the top. Once it starts steaming, that's called venting. We let that go for 10 minutes. Set a timer. After the 10 minutes, we'll put a weight on. Here, I need to do 15 pounds of pressure. And what we're gonna do, put your top on after the 10 minutes done venting. I need to go up to 15. Once it reaches 15, I'm just gonna turn my heat off and let it naturally come back down to 0. Open my lid and start shaking. Alright, so we have been venting for 10 minutes and now just put the weight on. And now you're gonna bring it up to the pressure that you need to according to where you live. Like I said, where I'm at, I'm like 4,000 feet above sea level, so I need to go to 15 pounds of pressure. So once it gets up to 15, then I'm just going to turn the heat off and naturally let it come back down to 0. All right, here they are. They just got done coming back down to 0 for pressure in my canner. Took them all out. Since these jars are still hot, be careful. You just want to make sure your lids are tightened. Then we're just going to start shaking them. We're going to shake them every 5-10 minutes. Because do you see how this is separated? You want to shake that back together. And that's the difference between making ghee, where you take all of those particles off when you skim it off the top. I'm doing butter. Like that. So, might take an hour. Depends on how cool it is in your house. Just keep going. You see it's obviously really liquidy now. Just keep going. Keep going, keep going. Okay guys, I just want to show you this. So I'm still sitting here shaking. You can see it's liquid. This one's starting to turn. It's not liquid anymore. So it's really thick though. So I'm just going to turn it about 1 or 2 more times and then it'll be done. All right, here's another angle. You can tell the difference with the color too. I'm trying to turn the light on so you can see. Remember this one? That's pretty solidified and it's a little bit on the more pale side. I don't know if you can tell by camera, but it is. So that's another thing that you can look for. All right, we are done. Look how beautiful. Amazing. So easy to do. The longest part was shaking them until they cooled. But go ahead and give that a try. Your family will love you for giving them butter.